Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.28 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 1.6%. But you're going to love what we got today and the 193 countries and the United Nations, which will be using Ripple and Stellar and other networks. Wait till you see what we have. You're going to love it. Bitcoin, 62,800 plus, 2,400 plus for Ethereum, 119 billion plus market cap for Tether, 35 billion plus for USDC. XRP's at the number 7 spot for now. 53 cents, off by 1.7 on the 24. We're off by 15.6% on the 7-day, ranging between 52 and 54 cents. Oh, is XRP waking up again? Look at this market. I mean, things are moving, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your head on a swivel. This is October. Will we have Uptober with Bitcoin jumping off this month? I don't know. Some technical analysts believe so, but we will see. The market will tell us. Let's take a look at this very quickly. I want to tell you about this. It's iTrust Capital, baby. The best crypto, gold, silver IRAs on the planet. You can roll over your previous positions in a 401k, 403b, 457. But let me tell you what's really important. What's really important here is that you get the empowerment, being able to control your own tax-free back office. I mean, you can't make this up. This is incredible. I tell you, you need to click the link if you haven't done it already. This is a remarkable opportunity. And I want to remind people, not only right now, if you apply, I think the chance is still open to win the VIP experience at the USC Stadium, all expenses paid. It is an incredible, incredible experience. You're on the field with the players. It's unreal. And it is a remarkable stadium, and people there are incredible. You get to meet the iTrust fam. But here's the other thing. If you're a real retail holder like I am, this is the one place that you're guaranteed institutional custody because they're required to, because they're offering IRAs. So if that's something that means something to you, you will click that link so fast, your head will spin. And you will be happy you did. Meanwhile, head on a swivel, October 15th, October 17th, it's going down, baby. Yes, Massachusetts senatorial debates between Elizabeth Warren and, yes, our very own John Deaton. And I'm telling you, he's going to destroy this woman live on television. Please do whatever you can. Donate what you can. JohnDeatonForSenate.com. Please politely tag the Tim Drapers, the Michael Saylors of the world. Ask them for support. We need to get all the support money we can behind John Deaton. Please tag Joe Rogan. Please tag Patrick Bet-David. Please tag Lex Friedman and any other large podcaster you know of, and tell them about the food stamp warrior and his incredible life story that will make people's hair stand up on the back of their neck. And not only that, he's about to be the next senator of Massachusetts. That's what we need. Let's get him the attention he deserves. He came to help all of us. Let's do what we can for him. The SEC is now under massive scrutiny following its XRP appeal, with an analyst predicting Ripple will hit a new all-time high regardless, and I think that's quite possible as well. We know we had an all-time high before we even got sued, right? So the spirit animals can absolutely move the market, but here's what you need to know that the SEC is up to. Crypto.com just received a Wells notice from the SEC. So, you know, the clownish behavior from the SEC and Gary Gensler is not stopping and not slowing down. What, you know, I've been over this. How do you do it? Well, you go after Tether and you go after the exchanges, because this is the bottleneck of where people come in and out of this digital industry, this digital economic space. All of it is only accessible through exchanges primarily, and USD Tether. These are the two areas to watch, because that's exactly what they're doing here. So head on a swivel. You know, this is just so disturbing. But Harris is for crypto, Mark Cuban says. Cue the inadequate answer. Well, Biden is still president, though. No one with common sense would back a communist like Harris. And no one with common sense, I'll add to this tweet, would back someone like Biden, who probably thinks he's at Hershey Park right now. Especially a billionaire thinking that he could wear a Bolsheviks t-shirt and gain favor with an incumbent or the party to be. I'm really starting to wonder if Mark Cuban ever went to Epstein Island or those Diddy parties. That's what I'm wondering, Mark. Did you ever go there? Did you ever do those things? Did you participate in something? Are you worried like Bill Gates is worried? Huh? Are you worried like the other elites out here? I'm just curious because it doesn't add up why you would push for someone who out of their own mouth has really established a communist platform for themselves. Meanwhile, we know Donald Trump is considering Robinhood's chief legal officer, Dan Gallagher, to replace the SEC chair, Gary Gensler. Not bad. I say I would take Christian Carlo. I like that pick, but I'd go for Dan Gallagher if he does a great job. It wouldn't take much to do a much better job than Gary Gensler, I can tell you that. Meanwhile, PayPal recently marked a significant development in the adoption of digital currencies. They've completed their first business transaction using PayPal stablecoin. And Codius. Pundits say Ripple's true development plan could push XRP to 5 digits. And you know, this has always come back to what happened to Codius, right? And Codius was that platform of smart contracts that was pursued early on by Ripple and then decided not to. I always felt that, you know, it was one of those things, whether it was a direct decision or an indirect decision, it was a great call to step away from it because smart contracts are contracts. And can you imagine what that looks like to Gary Gensler if it's not Ethereum? It'll look like a security, right? Because he won't talk about Ethereum. He won't go after them, really, right? So this gets very interesting. Not to mention the fact that, you know, there's always been people in this space over the years that really had like a perspective to make you feel like they might know something we don't. And Kendra Hill was one of those characters out here. She would say, think of cross-border payments as a nice testing ground to prepare Ripple for the use case they have been focused on since the very beginning. The true intentions of Ripple are to handle 100% of the transactions which take place in the derivatives market. So why do they not make this public knowledge? For multiple reasons. The most important one being that they are not ready. They are missing a piece to the puzzle, and that this piece is called Codius. Well, we'll have to see about that, but let's keep that on the back burner as we think of all of this stuff. We know Ripple is partnered with ISDA, International Swaps Derivative Association. We know that they are connected to DTCC, the clearinghouse, because they're connected through Securrency, which was recently acquired by the DTCC. So, you know, this really does lend itself to where are we going once we get clarity. Now, the adoption rate that's happening out here, according to BlackRock, is that it is outpacing the internet and cell phone adoption. That's what we're looking at here. And that's what this chart basically says. If you go back to this, you can see the indicator and how fast it's growing comparatively to the internet and mobile phones. So the adoption of Web3 is massive. I call back the notion to remind everyone it's top down. That's what we need. We are at that inflection point where the internet was adopted by military and governments first and then consumers. Now this has been backwards. Crypto has been consumers first, and now we need to see that moment where we see governments and internet adopt this technology. It's going to take the legislation to do that because we're not just moving messages, we're moving money and value now. And that's why it's a different approach this time. But nonetheless, we know that the train has left the station. This is Rosie Rios from a year or two ago. I want you to listen to this quick clip and what she says. We're going to move from this quickly.
By the 43rd Treasury of the United States, Rosie Rios, to discuss just that. Rosie, welcome.
Thank you.
So Rosie, when you think about the intergenerational wealth transfer that's going to go on, what do you think about?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. And if you're only thinking about it now, you're behind the 8 ball. The train has left the station. I keep saying that, and it's absolutely true, especially when it comes to this topic. So what people need to realize about intergenerational wealth is it's already happening, right? So we're talking about kind of, so the boomers, which is my generation, we have the most discretionary income. But this next generation, basically, the millennials, although it's pretty much anyone born in the mid-90s and later, are going to inherit this opportunity to really think about investments in a totally different way. So when you think about those generations, so technically, the millennials or anyone born between 1980 and 1996. But again, look, my son's 26, my daughter's 21. I call them the Robin Hood investor, right? But in reality, these are kids who grew up with the internet, right? So anyone who's grown up with the internet, they see the world as very flat. It's no longer what they're taught at home or what they're taught in the classroom. It's what they see. It's what they've learned, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the internet. They're very tech savvy, they're very confident, but they don't have the experience that perhaps a lot of wealth managers, financial analysts, managers, etc. need to really understand how to think about their investments. So for me, it was very important that I get into their heads. My daughter's 21, my son is 26. When I left the Obama administration in 2016, after serving both terms, I studied these kids, I call them kids, for 2 years at Harvard. And I really wanted to understand kind of the social, political, economic way that they think and how they behave. And for them, it's kind of this one and done world, right? It's set it and forget it. Right. Technology means everything to them. They're very, very confident, they're very progressive, and they're very savvy. But again, they lack a lot of the world experience that my generation still has. So even here now in this economic downturn, this unprecedented economic downturn, this is where, in my opinion, the wealth management industry has a huge opportunity. It's no longer about taking them out to golf and buying them dinner. It's really kind of thinking about how to use technology and information in a totally different way. So if you're not already on their app, on their phone, and that's how they access information, if you're not already there, you're behind.
No doubt about it. But she said her kids even are Robin Hood generation, right? Robin Hood investors. Do you remember Bitstamp? Robin Hood to buy crypto exchange Bitstamp, which is a Ripple partner, by the way. You remember when Bitstamp and that collaboration came together with Ripple will launch their own digital derivative exchange built entirely on the XRP ledger. Take a listen.
A business or an institutional investor, they also want access to the things we offer. They want 24-hour access to the equity markets, they want industry-leading margin rates, a great customer experience. So over time, I do think you'll see us branching more out into serving other types of customers, not just retail, but also businesses and institutions. And to that end, we announced an acquisition of Bitstamp, a global crypto exchange. One of the things that's very attractive about that business is that it's not just international, but also institutional. It gets us access to an entirely new customer base that we're not directly serving today. I think we can do more and more of that over the next 10 years.
We are launching our own derivatives exchange in the next few months, so that's something we are most excited about.
Yes, they are. And isn't that something? It's unbelievable. So you have to ask yourself, gee whiz, what about the Codius business, right? Will we see that? What about Codius? Codius going to help with that derivative settlement there? I don't know, but we should watch. We should absolutely watch. And how are you going to get all of this done? Well, we know that the recent news here, Ripple and Mercado in Brazil, Bitcoin partner, Mercado Bitcoin partner to transform crypto-enabled cross-border payments in Brazil. This is all due to the partnership with Ripple. But we have to remember that's custody, right? That's what we're talking about because it all starts with custody. If you can't custody all of this stuff, come on, then you got a problem. Standard custody acquired by Ripple too. And Medico acquired by Ripple as well. Custodians, because you're going to have to custody all of this. Why would you custody all of this? Because you're going to be settling derivatives along with regular payments for cross-border. This is where we're going. I really do believe it's where we're going. Now take a look at this. The United Nations believes it too. 193 countries in the United Nations using Ripple and Stellar networks and more. You better give Smoke Dog a follow for this one. I'll tell you what. United Nations confirms Ripple and Stellar's role in the new financial system. Period.
All of the existing networks. And this is kind of what it would look like. It's not a new system, but it connects existing systems. So no matter whether it is incumbents like Swift, Visa, MasterCard, or some of the newer networks like Ripple, Stellar, Celo, a payment should be able to go from one to another.
This is the United Nations, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you're looking at here. So if you're looking too much at this, you're never really going to gather the weight of this. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.